I have a person as well that I'm thinking of. And I pulled some data. So we're going to do our favorite game on Thinking Basketball. I do it all the time. We're going to do Guess the Player. We're going to do Player A and Player B. Okay? Player A averages 27 points per 75 on plus 4% true shooting. So what is that, around like 61% now? He has let's call it a 7 in my passer rating model. His on-off this season is plus 15. That means when his team is on the court, they are 15 points better than when he is off the court. This is where he ranks in impact metrics. 4th in estimated plus minus, 6th in LeBron, 6th in Raptor, 3rd in RPM, and 11th in my box plus minus model. Here's player B. 28 points per 75, so a touch higher on volume scoring. Just plus 1% efficiency, so kind of like a rung down, 3 percentage points lower on efficiency. His passer rating is more like a 6 than a 7. I will say personally, from scouting them, that pretty much is in line. I do think player A is a better passer. And his impact metrics, he's 16th in EPM, Raptor, 15th in my box plus minus model, and 21st in LeBron and RPM. So kind of like a lot of like 15 to 20th for player B, and player A, a lot of top 6s. 3rd, 4th, 6th, 6th, 11th. By the way, player B, his on-off is plus 6. So his team is plus 3 when he goes to the bench and plus 9 when he's on the floor. So Cody, they're worse when he's on the bench, and then player A's team actually passes player B's team and is better when he's on the court. Which of those sounds like a stronger MVP candidate to you?
I mean, based on what you just said, it seems like player A should be running away with it, right?
Running away with it. Now, my hunch is we were thinking of the same player, because player A is Steph Curry, who in the latest ESPN strawman poll is somehow 9th in MVP, and player B is Devin Booker. And if I could get one more word in
Please.
On this, I've heard a lot of people say, well, then you have to look at Curry's missed games. And this is what I mean by just getting accurate about the information we have when you try to apply your own rubric. Curry has played 64 games, over 2,200 minutes. And there's like 2 games left in the season or whatever, 2 or 3 games. So he won't pick up any more games, but he's at 64 games. Here are where a ton of other players sit. Player B was Devin Booker. Devin Booker has played 67 games, and he's played 2,277 minutes. He's played 60 more minutes. Again, I don't know what we're doing if we're saying we're giving one guy's up at the top of MVP, one guy's sliding down as an afterthought over 3 extra games played or 60 minutes. If that's internally consistent with your criteria, so be it. I'm just skeptical that anyone actually approaches that, because Giannis is near the top and he's played 63 games, right?
Yeah.
2,100 minutes. How about Joel Embiid? He's played 64 games, 2,100 minutes. He's played fewer minutes than Steph Curry. Who else is a strong candidate right now? Luka Doncic, 61 games, 2,200 minutes. I think Jason Tatum at 73 games, playing almost 2,700 minutes. That's an example of someone who I think probably could get a boost from playing more time. But John Morant, John Morant still seems to be very high on people. I've seen people say, I don't know, Curry, maybe 3rd team All-NBA guard. Maybe John Morant's the 1st team All-NBA guard. Cody, you know how much I love me some John Morant, but he's only played 56 games.
Kevin Durant, 51 games, 1,886 minutes.
Yeah. So again, for me, I think the way I see it is just be accurate and internally consistent. And what I have a problem with is just sort of like plucking something out of the air and making it up as a reason to vote for somebody. Sometimes there aren't very good reasons. If I were forced to make an All-NBA team, I would not have Booker near Steph Curry. But, you know, as long as I think you're internally consistent, then I think we're getting a pretty good outcome from the process.
I want to add a little bit more on Steph Curry here, because I think there's also an aspect of recency bias. I think something that's really helped Devin Booker narrative-wise is that Chris Paul got injured for a stretch of time, and Phoenix I haven't pulled the stats, but Phoenix kept warring along with Devin Booker at the helm, right?
Yep.
Now, Curry is injured. He's been injured a little bit, right? Draymond Green's been injured. They've been struggling with the timing of their injuries. What if we restructured how we set up the Warriors season in their injuries? What if we restructured it in the way so that they actually played their last, again, I pulled these like yesterday, the last 36 games with Draymond and Curry together? All right. So in this thought experiment, right, they start their first 15 games without Curry. Actually, no, let me think. I had it a little bit clear here. No, first 15 games without Curry, right? Negative 4 net rating.
These would be the games that he missed.
Yes.
Okay, right. Yep.
Okay. Games that he missed.
Okay. So in this experiment, we're going to start with this order, and they're 5 and 10, and then he comes back to the lineup.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So he comes back to the lineup, but Draymond is still out. They go 16 and 12 with Curry, no Draymond, plus 4.4 net rating.
Okay,
That's
so
pretty solid.
Right. So what would happen is they would look like a pseudo disaster. Then they would come back. They would play better than 500 ball. They would beat some good teams. They would be 21 and 22 in the playoff picture. Their differential would be positive now after starting the season -4 without Curry. They would have some momentum. And then what happens when Draymond comes back?
Draymond comes back. Their record with both of them playing is 29 and 7 with a plus 9.8 net rating. So imagine a world where the last 36 games that the Warriors have played was at a near plus 10 net rating with both of them, ripping off 29 wins and 7 losses. I feel like the narrative machine would have been pushing Curry so much that there's a chance he would have actually been involved with the top 3 other big men that are looked at as the main MVP.
Thanks for listening. You can find the full episode of This Thinking Basketball podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you enjoy podcasts.